Okay, everybody. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Lauren. I am recording a walkthrough of Practice Test 7, Math Module 1, Math Mod 2, English half, and other practice tests will be available soon. I have been meaning to sit down and do these recordings forever, and now's the time. This is going to be a speed run. I'm going to try to do it within the 43-minute time frame while also giving relatively straightforward notes and lecturing throughout. I may go back and try to edit things in the event that, I want to make things more clear or there's a faster way to do something, but I have never seen these questions before. I actually just took these screenshots in a different tab, and I'm going to go through and hopefully show you how I would look at them with all of my SAT experience of being an SAT tutor for 10 years, how I would approach these on first attempt, and then see if maybe if I had more time, I would go back, readjust how I might skip, if ever. But hopefully you find this useful. So mark time, it's 5 o'clock. I'm going to go ahead and get started. This is a paper practice test. Content's the same as the digital, but it's just easier for me to access the materials, which is why I usually use the paper, and they're a little longer. So without further ado, let's see how this goes, because I got asked by one of my students last week if I took an SAT cold, I could get a perfect score. And I said with my whole chest, yes. So we'll see how this goes. Without further ado, let's get into it. So starting with question 1, the scatter plot shows the temperature in degrees Fahrenheit and the distance above sea level in feet measured at 6 locations of Mount Jefferson. A line of best shown. Cool, don't care. At a distance of 4,000 feet above sea level. This is distance above sea level. This is 4,000. My tablet is not very straight. This is 4,000. What is the temperature predicted by the line of best fit? That's going to be 35. Answer choice B. Moving on. For number 2, rectangle P has an area of 72 square inches. The area of a rectangle is on your equation sheet, but you should have it memorized. It's length times width. So the area is 72 inches. If a rectangle with an area of 20 square inches is removed from rectangle P, what is the area? Oh, this is easier than I thought. 72 minus 20 is going to be, what, 52, 62, 72? Yes, D. Yeah, this is just subtraction if I cut out my chunk. For 3, which value is the solution? I love absolute value. We would do absolute value of P is equal to, we subtract 61 from both sides, and we get 4. And then when we get here, just for a note, for solving absolute value expressions, you get P is equal to 4 and P is equal to -4. You must isolate the absolute value first. And if and only if the absolute value is equal to a positive number, can you proceed? If not, it is no solution. I've seen a question like that on the SAT before. For number 4, Lorenzo purchased a box of cereal and some strawberries at the grocery store. I think this is a systems question. Lorenzo paid $2 for the box of cereal and $1.90 per pound for the strawberries. If Lorenzo paid a total of $9.60 for the box of cereal and the strawberries. Interesting. I haven't seen one like this. Like I have, but not. It's set up. It sounds like it's going to be a systems expression, a solving systems, but it's not. It's just a one-step equation, two-step equation, which of the following can be used to find P. You don't even need to solve it, actually. That's awesome. So it's 2 is a standalone, right? So we paid $2 for the box of cereal, 190p for however many pounds of strawberries, robot, and then 960 was our total. Excellent. Easy peasy first page. Another graph. We love these. For how many of these 15 days did the battery receive a 0? So how many is the number of days if we did 0? That's going to be a frequency diagram at 6. For number 7, what's the x-coordinate of an x-intercept? You can pick, there's several here. So whenever we're looking at this, this is going to be x equals 14. This is going to be x equals -5. And then this is going to be x equals -4. And x-coordinates, x-coordinates are the same thing as x-coordinate of the x-intercept. They don't even make you guess or make you work for what it is. What is an x-intercept? So an x-intercept is exactly what it sounds like. These are the zeros, roots, solutions. This is the same thing. So pick one. It doesn't specify it's positive or negative. I'm going to pick 14. I'm going to move on. For 8, the graph shows the given estimated value in dollars of a tablet as a function of the number of months since it was purchased. What is the, that's all noise. What is the y-intercept? This is when x equals 0. So the number itself is going to be what looks to be 225. So was 225, was 225. That's not right. Decrease by 225. decrease, that's a percentage. That's also weird. So it's either A or B. The estimated value of the tablet when it was purchased. So since it was purchased, that's our initial amount. So it's going to be A. 24 months after it was purchased, that would be this number. That's when it's equal to 50. Excellent. Second page. Triangles, we love those. Always draw first. They're congruent. Congruent means same angles and proportional sides. Or sorry, excuse me. That's, oh my God. Same angles, same sides. Excuse me. And then similar, while we're here, is proportional sides. Wasting time writing this down. Same angles, regardless of shape. Sometimes my students do a practice module, and there's one where it's talking about similar rectangles. And for whatever reason, when it says that like a measure of angle A and rectangle 1 is 90 degrees. What's the measure of angle, the corresponding angle A in the larger rectangle? And all my students say 180. It's regardless of shape. So the angles in this case are going to be the same, and so are the side lengths. So triangles E, F, G, and JKL are congruent, where E, F, and G correspond to JK and L respectively. The measure of angle E is 45 and F. So I'm going to draw it like this: E, F, G, and JKL. They do not specify if they are right triangles, and oftentimes I tend to assume, I drew them as right triangles. I tend to assume that they're right triangles, and I always put the middlemost letter as my right angle in my little drawing. Oftentimes I'll make it a vertex, whatever. The SAT doesn't like to do that. Sometimes they'll say E, F, G, and JKL are congruent, and F and K are right angles, E and J are right angles, or G and L are right angles. So my students often assume that this is going to be the right angle if there even is one. In this case, just draw triangles, get this information down, and solve the question. I'm going to get to that. So the measure of angle E is 45 degrees, and E corresponds to J, respectively, means that it's in the same order. So this is 45 degrees. The measure of angle F is 20 degrees, and this is 20 degrees. Then what is the measure of angle J? If E, and this is, you got to slow down on these, because if you screw them up, you gave away free money. But E, F, and G correspond to J, K, and L. E is 45. This is 45. Easy peasy. They could have asked you to solve for G or L. For 10, the function F is defined by whatever. F of 4, that means plug it in for X. So this is 4 plus 6. That's 10, 5. 11, the graph of a system of an absolute value function linear. What is the solution? It's going to be, what is that? -3.5 or -6, 7/2. So the signs, right? It's a -7/2. Moving on. I don't even need to think about what the actual fraction is, nor what my y value is. I don't care. It makes sense that it's a fraction, though, because it was in the middle of a box. One of the two equations in a system of linear equations is given. The system has infinitely many solutions. What could be the second? It's anything that's rewritten. They're two lines exactly on top of each other. This is not right. They need to have the same slope in the y-intercept. That's not right. That's not right either. Oh, wait, it's 2y. So this is going to be, it's the whole thing. Yeah, that's not right either. So if we divide by 2 and divide by 2, it's just y equals 6x plus 3 again. Good. I'm telling myself I did a good job. 13. Things are going well so far. What is the value of 7p? I'm going to solve for p first, unless it's easy for me to be able to factor something out or whatever, so that I can just divide it away and then get a 7p on the left side. It's not jumping out at me right away. I'm going to divide by 18, subtract by 18, excuse me. 6/7p is equal to 54 minus 18. I don't want to do that in my head. I'm picking up my calculator. At this point, for the first time, this is 36 times 7. On my calculator again, divided by 6 is 42. But don't be an idiot and put 42. They didn't ask you for that. They asked you for 7p. This is probably a median question because of that second step. 294. So I'm going to go back through just because I'm sitting right here. I don't recommend that you do this on actual test day, but I'm doing pretty good on time. I'm going to do 6 times 42 divided by 7 plus 18. So I'm checking my work by plugging 42 back in for p to make sure my p is correct. And my p value is, I got 54. So I know that unless I did something wrong between 42 times 7, my answer is right. Solution to the given systems. I don't even care. I could probably solve this by hand, but it is faster to do it with Desmos. I'm pulling that up right now. Whenever you have solving systems of equations, you can just pull it up, plug it into Desmos, and move on with your life. You don't even have to think about it. Make sure you type it in right, though. I'll put the screenshot in just a second. You set them equal to each other, and Desmos so kindly allows you to see where they intersect. The only thing you can screw up with this question is if A, you don't realize that you can solve it with Desmos, B, you type it in wrong, or C, you tell me what X is. Y is what they ask for, so it's 3. We're halfway there. I'm circling the XY plane is equal to whatever. Which of the following gives the center of the circle? This is so easy in case you don't know it. X minus h quantity squared plus y minus k quantity squared is equal to r squared. Remember that it's equal to r squared. Everybody always forgets that it's equal to r squared. They'll think it's equal to the radius is 64. That's not true. It's the square root of that. So it's not 64. It's either 8. And in this case, it's going to be 13k for xy. Yeah, it corresponds. The answer choice A. One other note is that radius, 2 times the radius is equal to the diameter. Sometimes I talk to you about that. But easy peasy question. Right, it's probably a medium question of difficulty, and that's only because you have to prove that you memorized the expression. Graphical expression of a circle is not in your equation sheet. You have to have it memorized. Function is defined by whatever. F of what value of A satisfies, okay, so 2 steps. So F of 5 is going to be absolute value of 5 minus 4 times 5. Flows absolute value minus F of A is equal to negative 15. So then I'm going to have 4 times 5, which is 20, 5 minus 20 in my absolute value bars, minus F of A is equal to negative 15. That's going to be negative 15 in absolute value bars. I'm showing way more work than I need. 15 minus F of A is equal to negative 15. So then I get negative 15 and negative 15. And my negative F of A is going to be equal to negative 30. F of A is equal to 30. That's not an option. What did I screw up? What value of A? Oh, okay. So F of A is equal to 30. Oh, so, okay. That's so nice that they didn't make 30 a question. I would have gotten this wrong. Or an answer choice, I would have gotten it wrong. So what you need to do now is that you need to figure out, this is a second step. This is a good question. This is a second step. You do x minus 4x is equal to 30, because that's my F of A. So in this case, you could write it like this to make it a little more clear on yourself, that this is going to be A minus 4A, and then we just need to solve, right? So this is going to be a negative 3A, or 3A is equal to 30, and then A is equal to 10. That's a great question. I would hope that, not hope, because I don't hope that for you all, but I would have expected College Board to be mean and make 30 an answer, because I would have picked that with my whole chest and moved on. And then maybe I would check it at the end, maybe not. But for the exponential function, I'm going to write this down. I'll take the time. For the SAT, there are a lot of different ways that you can evaluate growth and decay, bank account financial stuff that you'll encounter in Algebra 2. But on the SAT, I've never seen an exponential question be framed in any other way other than this. It's always going to be your initial amount times your growth or decay to the star. Sometimes they talk about, I've seen this one before. I was about to say, I always tell my students that this is the coefficient and the base, and you need to know what they are, because there are questions. I've seen this question on an earlier practice test. I think it might be practice test 2, if not module 2 of practice test 1, which doesn't exist anymore. It's not available on College Boards. But I've seen this one before. This is such an easy question. It's borderline just vocabulary. By the way, to the star is the respective, the number of times that something happens usually with respect to time. But I have my students memorize it this way because I don't want them to get it in their head that if I change the way that I'm measuring something, whether it be in years, months, days, etc., the initial amount and the growth or decay never change. So for the exponential function f, the value of f of 0 is equal to c is constant, which is the following, which shows as the coefficient of the base. So I get f of 0 is equal to c. The one that I'm thinking of from an earlier practice test is f of 1 is equal to k. So f of 0 equals c. So I'm going to plug in 0 for this. So this is 22 times 1.5 to the 1. And I don't even know. I don't know why I wrote that. Sorry. I don't even need to plug this into my calculator, because I know that whatever number this spits out is not going to be equal to 22 or 1.5. For this one, f of 0 is equal to c. In this case, the answer is going to be b because it's 33 times 1.5 to the 0. And 33 times 1.5 to the 0 is the same thing as 33. Anything raised to the 0 power is 1, and that's my coefficient. Easy peasy. I've also seen this question before on an earlier practice test. This is our initial amount, growth of decay divided by 1790, bacteria after T minutes. If it's population, I've seen this exact same question earlier. So this is population to double. So it already is set up to double because it tells you that it doubles after 790 minutes, right? Because if you do 40,000 and we do times 2, we want T over 790 to be equal to 1. How long does it take in minutes? You have to check the units to make sure that they're the same, but you would do 790 divided by 790. I've seen this one before. This is great. I've had students come to me after the SAT and like have this memorized and write it down for me and say, I didn't know how to do this one. So in this case, you're trying to do n equals. So I need to do a couple of things. I'm going to do my 12 over n over here. And then I'm going to add my negative 2w. I'm going to add 2 over t here. Okay. I am going to combine like terms in the denominator. I'm just trying to think about the best way to do this. I need to make a common denominator so I can just inverse them both. So I'm going to multiply this by t over t and this by w over w, which is the same thing as 1. And then I'm going to, for both individual terms at least, and then I'm going to combine like terms, negative 2t plus 2w all over tw. You probably are going to have to factor out the 2 at some point, but you can do, so the negative 1 and negative 1 and over 12 is equal to w over, we take out the 2. Yeah, we're going to want to do that now. So take out the 2 and we get w minus t. Hope that's okay for those of y'all watching in real time. And then we have times 12 on both sides. N is equal to 12 divided by 2 is 6. So 6w over w minus t. And that's not an option. Why? Oh, because I dropped my tw. Oopsie. This is tw. And this is wt. Yeah. D is right. My bad. I recommend that once you get to 20 out of 27, if you're doing paper practice tests, to slow down, because this is where they start introducing hard questions typically. During study, temperature degrees Celsius, the air in chamber was reported. Don't care. Scatter plot rate. Which of the average rate of change? That's the slope. In degrees C per minute of the recorded temperature of the air in the chamber from 5 to 7. I haven't seen one like this before, but you just draw it. And I would look or encourage my students to do it like that. So the difference, this is 14, and then this is 24. So that delta is 10. So my rise over run for the slope is up 10, and then make sure you're checking the units, right? Because sometimes my students will look at this and they'll go, oh, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boxes, but they're counting by 2s on the y-axis and by 1s on the x-axis. So don't be silly. Look at your axes. So rising is 10, and then for 5 to 7, this is 2. So 5. Great. 21. In August, a car dealer has completed 15 more. Okay. I hate these. A car dealer. August. This is on hard practice if you look it up, or one like it. So in August, a car dealer completed 15 more than 3 times the number of sales a car dealer completed in September. I've done this one before. 3 times September. September sales specifically. So August is 3 times September sales plus 15, because 15 more than is going to be addition. And then in August and September, the car dealer completed 363 sales. How many sales did the car dealer complete in September? I'm going to let August be equal to X, September be equal to Y, and then I'm putting this in Desmos. I don't want to deal with doing that by hand. So this is going to be X equals 3Y. I know you can't see this. I'm doing it in a different tab. X equals 3Y plus 15. in Desmos. And then I'm going to do x plus y equals 363. And look at where they intersect. You got to scroll out kind of far on this one. Sure. So this is where it shows up when you graph. And it asks how many sales did the car dealer complete in September based on the way that I did this. I said it was equal to y. If this is my x and this is my y, this is my August and this is my September. 87 sounds as good a number as any. I might come back and check that one because I did that a little fast. Okay. Circles, draw. Don't forget it. Points Q and R lie in a circle with center P. Q and R, and this is P. This is going to be, one I've seen before. These are going to be radii, and they're going to be equal to each other. I tend to draw radii at 3 o'clock exclusively, and whenever confronted with a radii that looks like that, I completely goes out the window. Don't forget it. Anytime that you're drawing between the center and the circumference of a circle, it's going to be a radius. So the radius of the circle is 9 inches. Oh, look. Would you look at that? I've seen this one before. Triangle PQR has a perimeter of 31 inches. What is the length in inches of QR? Oh, this is easy. So you would do the perimeter of PQR. PQR is 31, and you would do minus 9 minus 9. So 31 minus 18, 13, probably. Scares me that I have radicals on the other ones, but these two are the same. Yeah, it should be right. In a set of okay. I hate these. In a set of 4 consecutive odd integers. Integers is a nice round number. And it can be positive or negative. 4 consecutive odd integers. So this would be example of that is going to be 1, 3, 5, 7. Where the integers are ordered from least to greatest. Okay. The first integer is represented by x. Okay. So this is going to be x. The product of 12 and the 4th odd integer. Product is multiply. Product of 12 and the 4th odd integer. So we'll call this A, B, C. The product of 12 and the 4th odd integer. So this is 12C is at most 26 less than the sum of the first and the third. Holy flick. So x minus b. Sorry, the sum is x plus b. So sum is add, and then 26 less than that is at most. I hate the way that for teaching purposes, I'm going to do this. I'm going to put that away. I'm going to do A, B, C, D are my 4 integers. So then I'm going to say A is equal to X. Great. So then, sorry, I need more room. So then the product of 12 and the 4th odd integer, D, is at most. So it's going to be less than or equal to 26 less than the sum of the first and the third. So A plus C minus 26, which inequality represents this situation. Oh, I see. This one's a good one, I think. So then this is going to be B is equal to X plus 2, right? Because our example, I'll pull my example back. 4 consecutive, this is example just for thinking purposes. 1, 3, 5, 7. It's going to be plus 2 every time, right? So then this is C is equal to X plus 4. And D is equal to X plus 6. Yeah. So we now figured out all of these. So 12D is going to be 12 times X plus 6 is less than or equal to X plus C, which is X plus 4. I can't believe I just did that. I feel cool. Yeah. No. No. And then is less than or equal to x plus 4 minus 20. This is a 6. It looks like a 1. Yeah, B sounds great. Or sorry, no. I was looking at B because of the 26. It's A. 12, x plus 6 is less than or equal to x plus 4 minus 26. I'm so good at this. Okay, great. 24. The table shows 3 values of x and their corresponding values of y, where s is a constant. Great. That's more than enough information to figure out the linear relationship that they're probably going to talk about. So I'm going to pick 2. With these constant questions, I tell my students, just pretend like you had numbers. How would you do this? I would jump for the slope first, right? I'm going to say that my slope is equal to, I'm going to write these out. This is negative S21, and this is S15. So this is going to be 15 minus 21 all over S minus negative S, or 15 minus 21, 5, negative 6. S minus and negative S is going to be 2S. Great. And then I'm going to pick for y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. My favorite one, which is probably that one because the number is, I don't want to like dealing with negatives. I have y minus 15 is equal to m, which is negative 6 over 2s. Make sure your s is obvious. Sometimes they'll be looking like 5s and whatnot. And then x minus s. And then these are all in standard form, which I hate, but I need to put it in standard form, which I don't think I've done that in a while. So y minus 15 is equal to, I distribute, I get negative 6x over 2s plus the s's cancel. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Oh, this isn't that bad. So I also didn't simplify here, but I'm going to add 15. Y is equal to negative 6 divided by 2 is negative 3x over s. And this is plus 18. And I'm going to move, it's ax plus by, so I need to move that over. So I get y, I need to put my x first. So this is 3x over s plus y equals 18. And I believe with ax plus by, you can't have integer coefficients if you're doing true standard form, which is why my answer looks different. So I'm going to multiply this whole side by s and this whole side by s to get rid of this fraction here. So this now becomes 3x plus sy is equal to 18s. Oh, look at me. 3x plus sy is equal to 18s. Probably right. Oh, this is calculator all day, right? Which of the following expressions is equivalent to, I'm not, there's probably a formula here. Maybe that makes me a bad SAT tutor, but I don't care. Make sure your calculator's in degree mode and just lock in for the typey type. I checked. I was defaulted to radian mode on Desmos. So be careful. I'm going to do sine of 24 times cosine of 66 plus cosine of 24. I'll screenshot this for y'all in just a second. Sine of 66. So that's equal to 1, the parent function. So this is 2 times cosine 66 sine 24. That's not it. It's not A. 2 times cosine 66 plus 2 times cosine 24. That's not it. Cosine 66 squared. Cosine 66 squared plus cosine 24 squared. Let's see. I'll do the fourth one just for your viewing pleasure. Cosine 66 quantity squared. How am I doing on time? 28 minutes. Not too shabby. Sine of 24 squared. Yeah, it's definitely C. Oh. I'm not, there's probably like a double or half angle formula that I'm not, make sure you don't pick the wrong, they think that's D. This is my parent function. I'll label it. And then this is A, B, C, D. It is this one. Awesome. So it's not that bad. The cost of renting a carpet cleaner is $52 for the, and then each additional day. My favorite question. This comes up all the time. All of my students, when they start doing hard practice sets with me, get this wrong because it looks like the one that I think we did at the very beginning, this one, where it is a one-time, like a $2 one-time thing, 1 box of cereal plus some rates that happens a certain number of times. This one, you cannot double count the first day. We already have our one-time fee and our first day included here. So there are a couple different ways that I can tell my students that they should do this question, but if we're doing $52 for the first day and $26 for each additional day, we're going to do D minus 1 here so that we don't count this. And then we could set D is greater than or equal to 1 in this case. So D is a positive integer. Yeah. So then it doesn't look like any of my options because I need to distribute 52 plus 26D minus 26, 26D, 52 minus 26. Is that plus 26? Plus 26, 26D plus 26, maybe. And I know that it's $52 for the first day. So I'm going to check $26 for each additional day. Yeah, it's 26 plus 26. You can check your first day with confidence. Yeah, that's 52. Answer choice A. Last question, best question. Function f is defined by the given question. This is a discriminant question. The function f is defined by the given equation. For what value of x does f of x reach its minimum? Oh, it's not even a discriminant question. What? This is one you can, what? You can do this with Desmos. Gross. What an easy end of module question. X minus 2, x plus 15 on my graph. If we're talking about a minimum value, right, this is a factored form of a parabola, but my leading coefficient, my a value, if I were to FOIL this, is positive. So it opens up like a cup. And my minimum value, my minimum function value is going to be the vertex, right? And they ask you for what value of x, it's negative 6.5. Mark time, 31 minutes. I would have had 43 to do this. Hopefully this made it, this is a good quick half-hour practice. I will go ahead and take a look at the answer key and see how I did to make sure that these are all right, but I'm pretty confident. If I had this time remaining, I would not just submit the module. Don't do that and like try to rest. Don't do that. Go back, check all your work. Do it again if you have the time. So question 1 is B. Question 2 is D. Question 3 is B. Question 4 is A. Question 5 is D. Question 6. Oh, I skipped one. I skipped one. My bad. Let me look at it. A line in the XY plane has a slope of 9. Oh, easy. Y minus Y1 equals M times X minus X1. Love that. What a happy accident. This is X. This is my Y. X plus or Y plus 5 is equal to 9 times X minus 0. The equation Y equals P. This is just rearranging it into, yeah, Y equals, I'm going to minus 5 over here. I distribute my 9. Sorry, I did this. I'm embarrassed that I missed this. I'm sure that 45. Yeah. What is the value of P? 9. 6 is 9. Great. Glad that this is why you go back and check your work, kids. 7 is 14, negative 5, or negative 4. Sorry, I know that I specified when I showed it that it was negative 4, but I think I hit the back button or I didn't make it obvious or I erased it by accident, but this is a negative 4, yeah. I know I did. I said it was negative when I did it though. And then, because I remember drawing the weirdest 4 of my life. So for 8 is A, 9 is B, 10 is D, 11 is C, 12 is D, 13 is 294, 14 is 3, 15 is A, 16 is C, 17 is B, 18 is B, 19 is D, 20 is 5, 21 is 87. So far, so good. 22 is B, good. 23 is A, 24 is B, 25 is C, 26 is A, 27 is -13/2, which is -6.5. Both are examples of way to enter in a correct answer. Please clap. Hope you have any questions, or if you have any questions, you can put them in the comments. Yeah, see, till next time. If you want individualized SAT prep, I encourage you to reach out to me at lauren@estinstitute.com or view our website where you can read up on our SAT doctrine, test dates, figure out how to register at estinstitute.org, https www.estinstitute.org/SAT. But thank you for joining me. Hopefully this was useful. If you find other ways to solve this, have questions, here for you. But happy studying.